Hello and welcome to Simpsons Reviews. My name is Ryan Alexander Davis. My friends call me Rad. Today we will be rating and reviewing a great episode entitled Homer Simpson in Kidney Trouble. This is the Simpsons 211th episode, which is really exciting to me because I live in apartment 211. This is the 8th episode of season 10, proving that the Simpsons still were pretty funny past season 8. So we're first going to start with the plot of this episode. This episode's plot was a mess. Just from start to finish, we spent the whole first act inside of a abandoned ghost town, which made for tons of funny jokes, like joke everywhere. But it didn't make a lot of sense. They end up going to this ghost town. On the way there, the car breaks down in front of the retirement home where Grandpa lives. It happens to be Grandpa's birthday, so he gets in the car and they all go to Bloodbath Gulch. They spend a lot of time there talking about prostitutes, and prostitutes are pretty funny, I have to say. I thought that was really good. But again, why are we there? We're just hanging out. And then finally we leave. We finally leave Bloodbath Gulch, and Grandpa needs to pee. And he needs to go to the bathroom, and they won't stop. You know how it goes. And then his kidneys explode. End of Act 1. That's how long it took us to get to the plot of the episode. Act 2, we find out that he needs a kidney and it's gonna be Homer. He doesn't really understand what's happening because he is Homer, and once he realizes he has to have an operation that could kill him potentially, he runs away scared. And that's when it gets weird. And it gets like way weird. Homer runs away and he goes by railroad on one of those like up and downy railroad cars. So he's wandering around the wharf now on the coast. He's looking to go to sea. And he ends up on the Ship of Lost Souls, as Homer himself describes as the strangest people in the world. And it's for no reason. It doesn't need to happen at all. It has nothing to do with anything. It wastes like 3 minutes of your life. Nothing is accomplished besides Homer going, "Oh yeah, I guess it was a pretty bad idea not to give my dad a kidney. Meh." He finally goes back to give Grandpa his kidney, only to run away again real quick. And then he comes back, and then, I don't know, Grandpa gets a kidney or something. So, in conclusion, the plot was dumb. It facilitated a lot of funny jokes, though, so I'm giving it a score of 3 in that category. Moving on. Storytelling. Now, though the plot and premise really kind of sucked, the storytelling itself wasn't that bad, even though every scene of this episode was very disjointed. It still had a really good flow to it. You knew what Homer was thinking. You could follow him. You could follow Grandpa. The only real thing I had to complain about in the storytelling was I had no sense of time. I don't know how long it was between when Grandpa's kidneys exploded and Homer ran away. I don't know how long Homer ran away for. I just felt like, is Grandpa gonna die? He's on this boat sailing around whichever ocean the Simpsons live near. So I gave storytelling an 8 because I actually enjoyed it. The next thing I'm going to talk about is the use of parody, reference, and satire. This episode actually didn't have a lot of any of that. As much research as I could do, I cannot find what the Ship of Lost Souls was a reference to. I like references, I like knowing where they come from, and this just hurt me. I'd rather not see references and parody and satire done poorly. I would just rather have it not be there. So I gave him a 6. I gave him a 6 for that category. Jokes. No, 10. I don't, just watch it. Watch the episode. I can't sit here and name all the jokes, or I just repeat the entire episode. It was just a vehicle for jokes, which is probably why the story was so awful. Characters. by and large, this was a really heavy character piece. The Simpsons characters were totally in character. They were all true to form. Marge had good jokes. Marge jokes. Marge doesn't have a lot of good jokes, but when she does, they're gems. You know, even Homer, I feel, had like his growing moments where he realized he did a bad thing. He should be a better son. Where they really lost points in this category is just the Ship of Lost Souls. Those characters didn't need to be there. I guess they were good for what they were, but on an episode centered so heavily around the Simpsons family and their relationship from father and son and grandpa and doing the right thing, we didn't need them. We didn't need them at all. I don't like them. Characters, I gave an 8. Quotability. I can't really talk about quotability without just saying the word prostitute about 30 times. The rest of the episode, it has some really good jokes, but even as I'm sitting here talking to you, I don't remember most of these funny jokes. Again, Marge had one of the best lines, "We all blame you," which is a great Marge line. As far as quotability goes, I gave it a 7. Acting. I felt for Grandpa. I empathized with Homer. And the Ship of Lost Souls, though I may hate it, they all did a really good job portraying the characters they were supposed to be. And that's all I want to say about it. I gave it an 8. Let's talk about the visual gags. This is classic Simpsons visual gags. Every establishing shot has a gag. They're just such good visual jokes, and they're everywhere. They're at Bloodbath Gulch, even on the Ship of Lost Souls. I gave it a 9. The memorable scenes. I really feel like this episode only had so many scenes. We spent so much time at Bloodbath Gulch. That itself is like one big scene to me. The tour guide who can't stop saying prostitute and the guy with the fake guns who keeps shooting at Homer. You almost remember it as 2 episodes. You remember Grandpa Need a Kidney, and you remember that weird ship episode where Homer met all those weird guys that were references to things I don't know. I'm kind of split, but I'm gonna go with 7. More so, I forget the Ship of Lost Souls and I remember all the good scenes. Finally, how did it all come together? I haven't laughed that long and that hard in a long time. But the episode was a mess. I just remember being so disappointed when it ended, that it was just all over the place. It's not gonna be a go-to episode. I would love to say that it is, but it's just not. I gave it a 5 for how it all came together. It really just feels like a 5. Okay, so here we are. Let's add it up. Out of 10 categories, each being worth 10 points, this episode gets a 72, which is probably a C- unless you go to one of those liberal arts schools, and then it's probably a B+. Probably not gonna be in my top 100, but I am early in the game. Hopefully this has been helpful to you when thinking of what your favorite episode is, or don't believe that season 10 is one of the good years. Feel free to debate me in the comments section below. And that about wraps it up. I'll see you all next time. Later. And as always, have a rat-tacular day!